Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering the best application for writing a book. No, there isn't one magic tool that can write a good book for you, but there are a few tools I want to share with you that can empower you to write the best possible book. By the end of this video, you'll learn all about word processing tools, voice-to-text transcription, and even some AI tools like ChatGPT. But we're not going to use it the way you think we will. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. AI tools are all the rage today, and for good reason. They can do things that typically would take us a lot longer. And there are some ways in which AI tools are great for book writing. In some ways, they're not so great. Not so great is the writing itself. You know, AI writing it's gotten better, but it's still pretty hollow. It's still pretty bland. You know, if you're writing a great book, your unique original writing is going to be a lot more powerful than anything an AI is going to put out. At the same time, you know, there's a good element of foundation that can be built using AI. You can plug things in and see what it comes up with and maybe take some ideas from it. But here's the thing I want you to keep in mind. AI writing like ChatGPT is based on writing by other people. It's based on other books, other blog posts, other LinkedIn posts. So the ideas being generated have already been written before, by and large. These are already ideas that have been put out into the marketplace that other people can read elsewhere. When you think about writing a book, you want to think about writing an original book, a unique book, a different book. You know, one that doesn't mention Patagonia every 3 or 4 pages as an example of a great company. You know, find other ideas for what a great company looks like. It doesn't have to be Patagonia. I use Patagonia as an example because for a while I've been reading and reviewing manuscripts that have been written using AI tools like ChatGPT. And it seems like every single manuscript I was reading had a story about Patagonia in it, again and again and again. You know, the AI got the idea that Patagonia was a great company to work for, and it gave that answer every single time. So all these people kept putting Patagonia in their book, thinking, oh, I'm unique, I'm original. You're not. The books I was reading, manuscripts I was reading, all had the same examples in it. You know, that there's a lack of originality, there's a lack of uniqueness. And those unique and original elements are going to be what makes your book different, what makes it stand out, and what makes it readable. So even though there's so much power that we can harness from AI tools, and we'll get to that in a second, don't use it to write for you. Write your own stuff. Write your own awesome stuff. You know, you don't want it to sound like AI, and you don't want it to sound like everybody else's. You want your book to be different. That's how you stand apart, and that's how you write a book that people want to read. On the flip side, AI tools can be awesome for outlining. They can be awesome for coming up with ideas, counter arguments. They can be good for summarizing documents. I was working on a project involving deep business interviews. You know, it had me take out different themes, and I was uploading them to Notebook LM and saying, okay, what did this come up with? You know, when I used it as a starting point, it wasn't like I leaned on it like that heavily, but it was a good starting point. Outlining is the same way. You know, if you take the ideas of a book and upload it in Notebook LM and say, give me a good outline for this, or ChatGPT, you're going to get a really interesting outline. And it might not turn out to be the outline you want to use at the end, but it's a good starting point. And it saves a lot of groundwork to get to that stage, to be able to say, okay, what does an outline for this book look like? It's great to be able to plug it in, just have this thing come alive in the span of seconds. So outlining, planning, ideas like that, AI is great for, just not the writing. Another series of tools that I use consistently are Adhere and Rev. They are both voice-to-text transcription tools. They can take conversations, they can take audio recordings, video recordings, and quickly transcribe them for you in a matter of minutes. This has saved me so much time as a book writer and as a ghostwriter. Previously, I would have to transcribe by hand all these things. And you know, there's an element of listening to the subject and getting all of these stories told, you know, but it can be so easy to upload an audio recording and just have the text there instead of having to go back and listen to it again. It's easier too when you're trying to find something. When you've missed something during a conversation, want to go back. Where are you going to do to find it? It's so much easier that way. So it saved me tons of time. It's a great efficiency hack. I love those tools and I use them every day. A lot of people use grammar tools like Grammarly, and I'm a fan of Grammarly to a degree. I think the pop-up window pops up way too much. It feels like every single time I use it, just pops up everywhere and I'm like, please stop, no, I don't need you to correct this. So Grammarly can be a lot. It can be very good at spotting plagiarism, at spotting sourcing, at ironing out some grammar issues. But I think it's important to find the balance, because if you can use it too much, it can kind of take away the originality from your writing, and it makes it sound like everybody else. It makes it sound bland. You don't want your writing to sound bland. So I would make sure that you don't use Grammarly to strip out the uniqueness in your writing, but only use it for the tools. But it can be great at grammar check, at other things. I know Microsoft Word has grammar tools as well. That can be useful, but I think Grammarly goes deeper. When we think about the writing itself, there are tools out there that writers use, authors use to write books. I don't use them. I use word processor tools. I am basic, simple, whatever you want to call me. I use Microsoft Word when I write books. It's easy. It works. I don't love it all the time, but it's the best I've found. Google Docs is fine too. I think there's some elements of being able to share a document across multiple people and have us, automatically making changes. I know online you can do that with Microsoft Word as well. There's a lot of power in word processing programs, and typically when you work with a publisher or an editor, they're going to want to see your document in Microsoft Word or a PDF, but most often Microsoft Word. So it's good to have access to those tools, and it's good to keep it as simple as possible. I think a lot of times with all these new tools coming out, there's this urge to have the best thing, the newest thing, the last great big thing. It's like, just keep it simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You're simply writing. Focus on the writing. Focus on what allows you to do your best writing, whether that's, a notebook and a pen, whether that's talking into an audio recording, whether that's using a word processor tool, whether it's something else, whatever the case may be. Use the tech to empower you, not to get in your way. If you want to learn more about the best application for writing a book, there's a writing course that I want you to check out that I created. It's my Good Book Accountability course. We meet weekly. We talk through different issues we're facing. It's all about book writing and just want to empower people. After writing and ghostwriting 30 books, I have all these skills and techniques that I want to share with you. So if you're interested in checking it out, we meet weekly. Go to goodbookmastery.com. You can click the link below and check out the course. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.